We're always told to work harder, push longer, and just grind 24/7 if we want to get ahead. But what if that's all wrong? What if the real secret to success isn't about doing more, but about strategically doing less? In this explainer, we are going to unpack the science behind rest and sleep, and why they might just be your most powerful and most overlooked tools for a successful life. This quote from podcaster AJ Hogue just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? Our whole culture is obsessed with the hustle, but we forget about the fuel that actually makes the hustle possible. Somehow, we've bought into this dangerous idea that rest is just another word for laziness, and we really need to fix that. So that gets you thinking, right? In this crazy, relentless race for more productivity, what are we actually losing? What is the real hidden cost of ignoring our body's fundamental need to just stop and recharge? And yeah, that cost, it has a name: burnout. And this isn't just about feeling a little sleepy. Oh no, it's a much deeper state of exhaustion that, let's be honest, a lot of us are way too familiar with these days. I love this metaphor AJ Hogue uses. Think about it. Your energy is like a tank of gas. You can floor it, you can keep pushing that accelerator, going faster and faster. But if you never, ever stop to refuel, you don't just slow down. Eventually, you just stop. Dead. The engine's fried. Well, that's exactly what's happening to our minds and our bodies. Okay, so how do we keep the engine from burning out? We need to understand what's actually going on under the hood. So let's dive into the fascinating science of what your brain is really doing while you think it's just switched off. First things first, we've got to be clear on two different ideas here: sleep and rest. Sleep, that's the unconscious state where your body is doing all the heavy-duty repair work. But rest is something you can do while you're awake. It's about hitting the pause button, maybe meditating, or just sitting quietly without your phone for 5 minutes. Both are absolutely crucial for your well-being. And when you're sleeping, your brain is anything but off. It's on a mission. Every 90 minutes or so, it cycles through these 4 stages. Think of it like a pit crew for your body. Stages 1 and 2, that's the prep work. But stage 3, that's the heavy lifting. Your body's construction crew, repairing tissues and beefing up your immune system. And then stage 4, REM sleep, that's like a free therapy session for your brain, sorting out emotions and boosting creativity. If you cut your sleep short, you're basically telling part of your essential overnight crew to go home early. So what actually happens when we mess this vital process up all the time? The consequences aren't just some abstract idea. They show up in our day-to-day lives in really frustrating ways. AJ Hogue talks about this incredibly relatable feeling. After months of terrible sleep, thanks to his young twins, he just noticed his willpower and self-discipline totally vanished. You know that feeling, right? When you know what you should be doing, like going to the gym or focusing on a work project, but you just don't have the mental gas in the tank to do it? Yeah, that's a classic symptom. And check this out, science totally backs him up. This isn't some personal failing, it's just biology. Look at these areas: focus, decision-making, reaction time. All of that is handled by the CEO of your brain, the prefrontal cortex. And when you're sleep-deprived, that CEO is basically out of office. So that lack of willpower AJ felt, it's a direct neurological result of being exhausted. And here's another one that hits home for so many of us: that frustrating, unexplained weight gain. He said he wasn't really eating all that differently, but the number on the scale just kept creeping up. Sound familiar? And again, science tells us this isn't in your head, it's in your hormones. Poor sleep is like a triple threat to your body. First, it spikes cortisol, that's the stress hormone that basically screams at your body to store fat. Then it completely messes with your hunger signals. Here's a simple way to remember it. Leptin tells you to leave the food alone, but sleep deprivation lowers it. And ghrelin makes your stomach growl for food, and sleep deprivation raises it. So you end up hungrier, with more cravings, and your body is primed to store fat. It's a vicious biological cycle. All right, enough with the bad news, right? We see the problem, we get the science. It is time for solutions. How can we actually fight back and take back our rest? Let's open up the toolkit. So if you're thinking you need a little help, AJ Hogue makes a really strong case for melatonin over sleeping pills. Here's the key difference. Melatonin is a natural hormone your body already makes, and it's not addictive. Sleeping pills, on the other hand, are synthetic drugs that can create a really dangerous cycle of dependency. His advice is crystal clear: avoid them if you possibly can. So what's the magic number?
How much sleep should we actually be aiming for? Well, this chart lays out what scientists generally agree on. For most adults, that sweet spot is somewhere between 7 and 9 hours. Just take a quick look. How are you doing? Are you in the zone, or is there maybe a little room for improvement?
And here are some super simple but really powerful habits you can literally start building tonight. First off, consistency is king. Going to bed and waking up around the same time, yep, even on weekends, trains your body's internal clock. Second, create a digital sunset. That blue light from your phone is telling your brain it's daytime, and it shuts down melatonin production. So power down all your screens at least an hour before bed. Maybe read an actual book. And finally, get your environment right. Make your room cool, dark, and quiet. These aren't just little suggestions. They are powerful signals to your brain that it's time to shut down.
Okay, let's pull all of this together. It's time to completely reframe how we think about rest. This isn't a sign of weakness, it's a strategy. It's a declaration of strength.
For way too long, we've believed this myth that being exhausted is some kind of badge of honor. But all the evidence, all the science, it's screaming at us. That narrative is just broken. Sustainable success is not, and never will be, built on a foundation of burnout. So here's the big takeaway, the thing to remember. Treat rest like essential maintenance for your most important asset, which is you. A high-performance race car needs time in the pit stop to win the race. A world-class athlete needs recovery days to get stronger. You are absolutely no different. Rest is what lets you perform at your best. So I'll leave you with this question. And forget about overhauling your entire life overnight. Just think of one small change from our toolkit. What's one little thing you can do tonight? Will you put your phone away an hour earlier? Read 10 pages of a book? Just one small step, because reclaiming your rest, that's how you reclaim your power.